Welcome to Personal Finance Cat, where I share my personal take on personal finance. How to become a Metaverse consultant. If you're like me who does not know how to code or know anything about design or architecture, but are still very interested in learning about the Metaverse, then this episode is for you. Like I said many times, probably in each of my Metaverse episodes, I think Metaverse is going to be the next biggest thing. Not just because of the hype, but because there are very strong use cases and applications potentially. If you're brand new to the Metaverse, well, simply put, the Metaverse is a collective virtual shared space. It combines two words, meta, meaning beyond or across, and verse, short for universe. The Metaverse is a digital environment that can be accessed from anywhere in the world. It is a 3D space that can be explored in virtual reality, VR, or augmented reality, AR devices, such as Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, Microsoft HoloLens, and PlayStation VR. It also works on mobile phones with Google Cardboard or Daydream View. According to Boston Consulting Group, or BCG, there are 3 building blocks that enable the creation of this digital environment, aka the Metaverse. Number 1, VR, AR, and mixed reality, or MR. Number 2, virtual assets such as NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and other assets built on the blockchain. And number 3, meta worlds, for example, Second Life. In particular, amongst the 3 building blocks, blockchain technology, as you may have heard due to the recent boom and then bust of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, is one of the most promising technologies in recent years. It is a decentralized, distributed, and public digital ledger that records transactions across many computers so that the record cannot be altered retroactively without the alteration of all subsequent blocks and a collusion of the network. It has been predicted that blockchain will be used for more than just cryptocurrencies. It will also be widely used in the Metaverse. This is because the technologies that enable the Metaverse depend on some sort of digital currency to function, which blockchain could provide. It is expected that in the future, more people will be using the Metaverse for work, leisure, and entertainment. Like I said in the beginning, if you are not necessarily a technically savvy person, but are still interested in learning, Metaverse consulting services might just be for you. The goal is to understand the industry really deeply and stay in the forefront. You can then provide consulting services to people or companies who are just starting out in order to help them navigate the uncharted territories. It's still the Wild West, so it can get overwhelming for someone who is new to all of this, and they would want to seek help from people who can at least point them in the right direction. Isn't that what traditional consulting is all about? It is equally as important, if not more important, to define a problem than to solve the problem. As a consultant, your highest value add might just be directing your clients to identify what they need and then connect them to the right resources. You may argue, fair point, but there are very large consulting companies like Boston Consulting Group and Accenture providing consulting services related to the Metaverse. How am I going to compete with them? I'm glad you asked this question because I have the same question. I went to BCG's website, link in the show notes, and learned that there are 4 types of Metaverse consulting services they offer. Number 1, Metaverse strategy and roadmap. Number 2, investment and M&A target search. Number 3, use case identification and execution. Number 4, Metaverse infrastructure enablement. Okay, sounds fancy, but I would say if you read the detailed description, with deep learning, anybody can become knowledgeable enough to provide similar services. And individual enthusiasts like you and I have a competitive advantage compared to big companies like BCG, which charges more than $1,000 an hour for just one person's service. Nowadays, with so many individual influencers and small startup companies, who most likely will not be able to afford a big consulting company, this is where you and I come in. In addition, we have the flexibility of taking equity payments. In other words, instead of getting paid cash, we could become a part owner or get a residual share of income from these smaller players. Still not convinced? I got another real-life example for you. Think about the Big Four accounting firms. They have been providing accounting type of services for hundreds of years. mostly to large corporations. However, there are still many mom-and-pop accounting companies out there providing services for small businesses and individuals. I would even go further to say, with decentralized finance, decentralized e-commerce, and decentralized everything, which is the theme of Web3, the mom-and-pop type of consulting probably would gain more ground than what the traditional consulting firms could. What's the key to success for this new business opportunity? Education. Because everything is so new, almost everybody is at the same starting point. In other words, you have a fighting chance against the quote-unquote experts, who probably also only learned about it for 100 hours or less at this point. As a matter of fact, when doing research for this episode, I came across an industry report published by McKinsey and Company, another consulting giant, titled Value Creation in the Metaverse, link in the show notes. The article was only published in June this year, so almost fresh off the oven. Take the first baby step to read the article and learn about the industry a bit. Then keep learning more. And you guessed it, there is an extensive list of books written about this subject. Forbes has a recommendation list, for example, link in the show notes. There are some other lists out there, but they mostly overlap significantly with Forbes' lists. In particular, the one book titled The Metaverse and How It Will Revolutionize Everything by Matthew Ball came up a lot. And indeed, the summary is very appealing. Written by luminary metaverse theorist, essayist, and VC, Matthew Ball, this book explores the next internet. Ball demonstrates that many proto-metaverses are already here, yet these offer only a glimpse of what is to come. This book presents a comprehensive definition of the metaverse before explaining the technologies that will power it and the breakthroughs that will be necessary to fully realize it. This book is a timely, authoritative overview of the subject. Don't miss it. By the way, this book was only published in July this year, so it's also brand new. The other one that jumps out to me is titled Just the Metaverse Please, The Metaverse Handbook by Harrison Terry and Scott D.J. Ski Keeney. The authors call the metaverse the internet's next tectonic shift. It isn't about whether the metaverse will change our lives. It's about when. This book will give you great insight into the innovations that are beginning to emerge that will indeed change the way we live and create the world around us. Terry and Keeney reveal 120 creators who have built the tools needed to run the metaverse. Recognizing that not everyone is ready for this, they try to gently guide their readers to come to their own conclusion. They state that, at a fundamental level, the metaverse is a new way to learn, connect, and share culture. When you finish reading, they hope you will agree. As you can see, I'm a practical person, so naturally I'm more attracted to the informative type of books rather than the sci-fi type. Besides reading, listen to podcasts, wink wink, watch YouTube, take courses, attend conferences, etc., etc. I'll link some of these resources in the show notes. What is your favorite resource to learn about the metaverse? Feel free to share that by leaving a comment to let me and other listeners know. After learning, it's time to put your skills to work. Upwork, for example, is a good place to advertise your newfound skills. I just did a Google search and I was able to find someone fairly quickly who provides metaverse consulting services. And according to his description, this is what he offers. This session will give you a very clear overview of the current state of the metaverse market. We will dive into what is the metaverse, decentralized versus centralized metaverses, marketing opportunities in virtual worlds, gamification, the role of NFTs, the future of the metaverse, the risks and limitations, opportunities for businesses, introduction to Decentraland, Sandbox, Spatial, Horizon World. If you need us to help you with your project, we can provide consultancy and brainstorming sessions to define your metaverse strategy. So not bad, right? You and I can totally do it too. Interestingly, besides this person, I can't seem to find similar service offerings from other people on Upwork. Again, it goes to show that supply is limited. There are many other ways to market your skills. You can use social media or metaverses like Decentraland and Sandbox, or actual conferences, etc., etc. Metaverse consulting, being new and less competitive, will most likely rank you pretty high in the search. Before I close out, I just saw a post on LinkedIn today on how the shopping experience on Shopify will change with the metaverse. For example, instead of looking at pictures of wallpapers and decide what to buy, AI or artificial intelligence and AR technologies can be used to find the wallpaper you need and then show you what the wallpaper actually looks like on your wall. Imagine how much better and easier your online shopping experience will become. There you go, another way to market your service. Reach out to Shopify owners and consult them on how they should strategize to incorporate Metaverse technologies in their online stores so that they can beat the competition. By the way, Shopify has had a long-standing partnership with Meta, formerly known as Facebook. So you can bet that Shopify will be one of the first e-commerce platforms to adopt these technologies associated with the Metaverse. Alright friends, this is what I have for now. Thanks very much for listening to the end. As always, please leave a comment or review if you like this content. I'd really appreciate it. It will really help me grow my podcast like you wouldn't imagine. Thanks again. Until next time.